My job is to drive the skills strategy forward across the college for all areas. I'm an engineer by trade. I did an apprenticeship myself in engineering. I've been in education 29 years now. I started as a trainer and I've gone all the way through now. And I've worked at 3 places and I've absolutely loved every place I've worked. And my passion has always been that, making sure that we provide the right skills for young people coming into work. We had a strategy through COVID and through the lockdown of destination recovery. I was assistant principal for apprenticeships at the time, so I was working very closely with all the businesses about how they were going to recover when the pandemic was over. We did lots of discussions, collaborations and talking, and I think that in itself has made the landscape change a little bit for skills. We're finding now that businesses, we want this college to be the college of choice for young people to come to get a career in obviously from the education point of view, to get into industry. So I spoke with SMT, our senior management team, our principal, about how we now embed skills into all the curriculum, and we've created the Director of Skills and Innovation from that. So I think that coming out of the pandemic, it's had a big change for industry. Yeah, new technologies, especially in engineering, always going forward very quickly. My role now is to bridge that gap. Yeah, we're working with employees now and we're looking at, okay, what's your 12-month strategy for skills? Because we know there's skill shortages across the sector. What's that 12-month skill shortage? But what's your 5-year strategy? So we're working with businesses and looking at that 5-year strategy and trying to create a talent pipeline of young people coming out of the college with the right skills to get into work. Looking at that strategy for all our businesses. It's a massive challenge, obviously, as you can imagine. All our businesses, we've got aerospace, aeronautical, we've got automotive, lots of manufacturing sectors here. All want slightly different. So we have to have that talent pipeline of young people with the right skills coming out of the college to help those businesses with the skills. Over the past 4 or 5 years, I think that working with the businesses, our employer engagement strategy, I've wrote that for the college. And I said that's the royal me, that it's not me, it's our team who've wrote that. But I've driven that employer engagement strategy and the talent pipeline strategy that I just mentioned. Those 2 things have really allowed me to get into businesses, have that relationship with the businesses. I now sit on the CBI. I'm Northwest Regional part of that CBI. So I've got heavily involved at that high level, which is what is needed for the college. We need people to be able to engage with industry at that high level, so meeting the CEOs, meeting the managing directors, and support those businesses by understanding what them businesses need. That employer contribution is massive, and we can open the doors and the engineering companies will come flooding in because of the calibre of the young people that are coming into this college. I'm talking to headmasters and heads of the schools to talk about how they're talking to their young people in the schools about the required skills needed to help them with a career. And it might be that some of them would go straight into industry, but others need to come into a college environment, education, to get those skills. We get lots of young people coming to this college that might not have done really well with GCSE, maths and English, but if we give them those technical skills, once they get that technical skill and understand, and they get the bit between the teeth that they want to do it, then the maths and the English comes with it because it's relevant to that sector. And we've done that here at the college. It's amazing. I'm a Lancastrian and I love being from Lancashire. And if I'm supporting the engineering businesses and manufacturing businesses in Lancashire with new talent coming out of the colleges, then we're all winners, aren't we?
So when I joined the business back in 2006, I came from a different industry and I was amazed by the difference in quality of electricians available and the fact that some weren't properly qualified or competent. So I became involved in developing a better apprenticeship standard and then other products relating to that to improve quality in the industry. I consider my work of IFATE to be a significant achievement. I've been helping develop apprenticeships, T-levels and higher qualifications since 2017. As chair of TESS, I've also been instrumental setting up the Electrical Careers website and creating clear training routes to show learners and employers the best pathways to become recognised as an occupationally competent electrician. I think I'm quite determined and driven to see positive change, and being often the only small employer in a room of government or industry, my voice does get heard. So I'd like to use that, and I like to see the benefit of positive change happening. And there's been a lot of reform in the last 10 years, there's a lot more reform coming, and I'm just determined to help see that through. I like working with learners, so I do quite a lot of careers advice and industry awareness advice. I also like challenging government sometimes and helping to make policy work better for employers and the economy. So I'm not afraid to be challenging, but in a constructive way. And I like bringing people who wouldn't normally collaborate to work together as an industry rather than competing interests. And I think as an employer, without any conflict of interest or commercial interest, I can do that quite well. The AAS committee, we now have a qualifications guide that really shows which qualifications are valued and work for employers. The apprenticeship standards, the new experienced worker assessments, the new level 3 and level 2 qualifications that are being developed by EAL that the industry are helping to assist with. Things are slowly becoming simpler and clearer and easier to navigate, which can only be good for the level of vocational skills in this country. It would be great to have the recognition. My work isn't done, but it would be good visibility for industry and to kind of help further endorse the work that industry is trying to do to help create competent, highly skilled apprentices, and also to increase the numbers of women entering the industry and choosing apprenticeships and electrical careers as a career option in later life.
I think what Ruth has contributed to the industry is remarkable, really, in terms of the sheer sort of range of what she does and the sort of different levels at which she operates. So just from an ECA point of view, she's the chairman of our skills committee. And what that really exists to do is to support employers in delivering high value, high quality training for their employees. But she goes beyond that in that she also engages at an industry level. So she's also the chair of the Electrotechnical Skills Partnership, which is a number of different bodies, including ECA. And what they do is try to set the standards for training in the industry. That in turn involves her working with awarding bodies like EAL, with training providers, and with government. And again, you move to another level, and at a government level, Ruth is very influential within the Department for Education. She's a very effective member of the Institute for Apprenticeships and Technical Education Construction Group, and they directly are involved in developing apprenticeship standards, not just for the electrical part of the industry, but for the whole of construction.
In my day job, I work at Engineers Without Borders UK as head of engineering. My background, I'm a chartered civil engineer and I've worked within the water industry for 6 years in Scotland, designing hydro turbines, sewage and water treatment works. But I'm also, and quite recently, become a trustee of 2 other organisations that I really feel passionate about. So Azuku, who is an architecture, kind of in the architecture world, and helping to end housing poverty. And Useful Simple Trust, which is a B Corp. It's got an engineering company as part of its family of practices, and it's a social enterprise and is employee-owned. So really kind of represents future business models that inspire me and hopefully we'll see more of in the engineering world. This profession, I think, is really well placed to play a significant role in addressing some of the key challenges that humanity faces today. But we have a skills gap. Some research by the Institution of Engineering and Technology has said that out of the 1,000 engineering companies interviewed in 2021, only 7% of those with a sustainability strategy think they have the skills to meet it. It is our aim to upskill 250,000 people by 2030 with the skills and expertise to act in a globally responsible manner. If we bring that back down to my role since I've joined the organisation in 2019, is I've helped to grow our design challenges that form a key part of learning for engineers who are at universities in Cameroon, the UK, USA and South Africa. So the Engineering for People Design Challenge is a programme which is about a place. So every year we look at a community, the history, the culture, what is the water systems, the energy systems, what are the people who are living there looking for in terms of improving their environment. And students are then tasked with that open-ended brief. They get to know this place, but then they're looking at how do we improve that living system through putting their engineering skills into good use. And what I think is really great about it is because it is real world. It allows students to really grapple with understanding the complexity of our world, of cities, of places. And my role has been to grow that programme. I've worked with a fantastic team, collaborators and partners as well, to be able to grow that programme so that we are now reaching over 12,000 people. I think more than ever, developing skills is absolutely essential. When we look at what is the career going to be like for myself or others working within our profession, one thing's for sure is that we're going to be learning, relearning, continuously improving as our world changes, and rapid changes in technology as well impact the way that we all work. I think there's something deeper than that though. The skills required to act in a way that is sustainable, equitable and ethical is really key for designers, engineers, those working within our profession. And for me, it's really important that we connect the engineering skills and expertise to really addressing the challenges that we face today. We are really pushing our environmental and ecological systems to the limit when we look at our climate, when we look at biodiversity, when we look at nitrogen and phosphorus loading, when we look at social injustice. We're really at this critical point where we're setting the future possibilities. So I think it's really important now to look at how do we reshape engineering to be more creative, to be more collaborative, to be more sustainable and equitable and ethical. And that potential, the potential of what we could be, really motivates me every day. I'd be really humbled and grateful to win this award. I think, day in, day out, we're passionate about what we do, but I think when it's recognised by others, that's extra special. So yeah, it would be absolutely wonderful to win the award.